They say nighttime is when the world finally gets quiet. The lights dim, the noise fades, and everything slows down. But what if I told you that for many seniors, especially after 65, that silence can be deceptive? That while your mind may be ready for rest, your heart might be fighting a battle you can't hear. Let me share something personal with you. A story about John, a retired train engineer from Illinois. He's 71, sharp as a tack, always punctual, the kind of man who never missed a morning walk or a cup of black coffee. For decades, John lived with a heart that worked as hard as he did. But it wasn't until after retirement, when the stress faded and his days grew quieter, that something unexpected happened. He started waking up at night with a strange pressure in his chest. Not pain exactly, just discomfort, a heaviness. The kind that makes you sit up in bed and ask yourself, is this something or is it nothing? At first he ignored it. We men tend to do that, don't we? But the signs didn't stop. He'd feel lightheaded in the morning, sometimes a little breathless. His doctor told him something that changed everything. John, your nighttime blood pressure is spiking. Your heart's working overtime right when it's supposed to be resting. And that, my friend, is far more common than most people realize, especially in the elderly. You see, after 60, your cardiovascular system starts to behave differently. Your blood vessels lose some of their flexibility. Your nervous system becomes more reactive to stress, even silent stress. And at night when you're lying still, your heart doesn't always follow your mind into rest. For many seniors, those late hours can quietly become the most dangerous part of the day. But there's good news. You're not helpless. You can support your heart naturally, gently, and without medication, simply by understanding what your body needs and giving it the right tools at the right time. Let's start with something simple, something most of us overlook. Chamomile tea, yes, that soft floral brew your grandmother probably made. Turns out science has finally caught up with tradition. Chamomile isn't just for sleep. It's a natural muscle relaxant that helps calm the vagus nerve, that powerful communication line between your brain and heart. A 2020 study from the University of Pennsylvania found that older adults who drank chamomile nightly experienced lower heart rates, improved sleep quality, and decreased nighttime anxiety. It works like a gentle hand on the shoulder of your nervous system, saying, "It's okay, you can rest now." That's what it did for John. He replaced his usual TV watching with a ritual: dim lights, soft music, a warm mug of chamomile. No sugar, no distractions, and in just a few weeks he was sleeping better. His heart rate smoothed out, his morning headaches disappeared. But chamomile isn't magic. It's medicine wrapped in ritual. It's the signal you give your body, not just to shut down, but to heal. And that brings me to the second quiet tool for calming the heart: magnesium. Now this one doesn't get enough attention, but after 60, magnesium deficiency becomes more and more common, and it's one of the biggest silent contributors to nighttime heart strain. Without enough magnesium, your muscles tense, your blood vessels constrict, your heart rhythm becomes more sensitive to even small amounts of stress. And while you might not notice it during the day, your heart certainly notices it at night. That's why adding magnesium-rich foods before bed can be a game changer. Let me introduce you to Martha, 76, widowed, gentle spirit, always crocheting something beautiful for her grandkids. For years, she struggled with what she called night chaos. She'd wake up at 3 a.m., heart pounding, mind racing. She thought it was anxiety. Her doctor told her it was more likely her body crying out for minerals, especially magnesium. So she made one small change. Every night after dinner, she'd eat a small snack, 10 almonds and a single square of dark chocolate. That's it. No pills, no sleeping aids, just real food. Within a week, she noticed she wasn't waking up as often. Her sleep felt deeper and her morning blood pressure readings improved. Why? Because almonds and dark chocolate are two of the richest natural sources of magnesium, and magnesium tells your blood vessels, your muscles, and your heart, you're safe now, you can relax. According to the American Heart Association, magnesium helps regulate over 300 processes in the body, many of them directly connected to cardiovascular function. And it's especially important for senior health, because as we age, our bodies lose the ability to store and absorb minerals as efficiently. So a deficiency in magnesium doesn't just mean leg cramps or fatigue. It can mean poor heart rhythm, increased inflammation, and difficulty calming down at night. But just like with chamomile, the power isn't just in the nutrient, it's in the choice. The quiet moment where you sit down, breathe, and say, "Tonight, I care for myself." That is elderly wisdom in its purest form. It's what we call a life lesson from the elderly, that small habits, done consistently, are more powerful than big efforts done once and forgotten. So my question to you tonight is simple. How are you preparing your heart for rest? Not just your mind, not just your schedule, but your heart, the muscle that never stops working for you. After 60, your life is not on pause. It's a quieter chapter, yes, but one full of meaning, reflection, and intention. If you've been feeling tired in the mornings, if your sleep feels broken or your heart feels uneasy when it should be resting, it might be time to listen, not with fear, but with curiosity, because often the body speaks in whispers long before it ever shouts. Try this. Tonight, skip the chips, skip the wine, instead steep some chamomile tea. Grab a small handful of almonds, maybe a piece of dark chocolate if you like. Sit somewhere still, maybe near a window or under a lamp. No TV, just you, your breath, your peace. It's not just a snack, that's a message to your body. I see you, I care for you. I'm not giving up on you. If this speaks to you, I'd love to hear where you're watching from. Are you in the US, the UK, Canada, somewhere warm and quiet? Let me know in the comments. What's your evening ritual like? What helps you wind down? And if this message brought you a little peace, a little motivation, or just a reminder that you're not alone, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss future stories like this. Here on Elderly Reflections, we believe your later years are not your lesser years. They are your wisest, your richest, and sometimes your most inspiring. Stay with me because in the next section, we'll dive deeper into 2 more tools that naturally support your heart and calm your system before sleep. And one of them, well, let's just say your grandmother was right all along. There's something about the quiet of evening that asks us to slow down, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. For seniors, this time of day can either be a healing window or a hidden risk, because after 65, the way we wind down matters more than ever. Your body doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Your heart doesn't shake things off overnight. And if your evening choices are careless, skipping dinner, too much TV, too many pills or sweets, your heart pays the price, quietly in the background. But if you choose right, if you feed your body with intention, those same hours can become your greatest ally for recovery, repair, and rest. That brings us to the third remedy I want to share with you. Something ancient, golden, and deeply healing. Turmeric milk. Some call it golden milk. Others call it grandma's medicine. But whatever name you give it, this warm, comforting drink has stood the test of time, and science is finally catching up. Turmeric, the golden spice, contains curcumin, one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories on earth. After 60, inflammation becomes a silent enemy. It stiffens your arteries, agitates your joints, disturbs your sleep, and quietly pushes your heart to work harder than it should. But curcumin helps fight that, not with force, but with calm. And when you combine turmeric with warm milk, whether dairy or plant-based, you create the perfect vehicle for absorption. Let me tell you about Joyce. She's 81, living alone in the English countryside. A widow, quiet, dignified. She used to describe her evenings as a fog rolling in. Her thoughts would slow, her joints would ache. She couldn't sleep through the night without tossing and turning. But one winter, her granddaughter visited and introduced her to golden milk. Just half a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, warm oat milk, and a touch of honey. That night, for the first time in months, Joyce said, she felt her body soften, like it was exhaling. Within 2 weeks, her joints felt looser, her sleep deepened, and her morning blood pressure readings improved. The American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry published a study in 2018 showing that older adults who took curcumin daily showed significantly improved memory and reduced plaque buildup in the brain, the kind linked to Alzheimer's. But the benefit wasn't just in the brain. Participants also reported better sleep and calmer moods. Why? Because curcumin works where inflammation hides, deep inside your heart, your vessels, your nerves. This is the kind of elderly wisdom we forget in a world of quick fixes. But it's a life lesson from the elderly. Healing often comes not in a pill, but in a practice. So if you're someone who struggles with achy joints, restless sleep, or emotional heaviness at night, try this tonight. Make a cup of turmeric milk. Sip it slowly. No distractions, no noise. Just you, the warmth, and a moment of care. Now let's move to our fourth heart-calming tool. A fruit you've probably eaten all your life but never truly appreciated for what it does after sunset. Blueberries. Yes, that simple, sweet little fruit. But don't let its size fool you. Blueberries are what I call nature's brain tonic. They're packed with anthocyanins, antioxidants that specifically target the brain's memory centers and protect blood vessels from oxidative damage. For seniors, this is especially important because memory lapses, brain fog, and poor circulation aren't just part of aging, they're warnings. Warnings that your brain and your heart are undernourished. But blueberries help reverse that. They improve blood flow, they lower blood pressure, they enhance communication between neurons, which keeps your mind sharper and your mood more stable. There's a man named Louis I'll never forget, 75 years old, retired mechanic from Kentucky. Always had oil on his hands, stories on his tongue. But he came to me once and said, "Doc, I'm scared. I walked into my garage yesterday and forgot why I was there." He didn't want to take medications. He wanted something natural. So I told him to start with just one thing, half a cup of blueberries every night. That's it. Within 2 months, he said he felt like a window had been wiped clean. He still forgot things sometimes, we all do. But his clarity, his focus, his calm, it came back. Research from the University of Exeter in the UK found that older adults who consumed blueberry juice daily showed significant improvements in brain activity, especially in regions responsible for planning and organizing. That's not opinion, that's science. But here's the deeper truth. The act of eating blueberries at night, slowly, without a screen, without noise, becomes more than a snack. It becomes a ritual of self-respect, a message to your body that you still believe in its ability to heal. It's not about adding years to your life. It's about adding quality to your nights. So what can you do? Simple. Before bed, take a small bowl. Add some blueberries. Pair it with a spoonful of Greek yogurt if you like. The calcium helps with melatonin production. Or enjoy them alone. Let them be your sweet signal to your body that it's time to rest, to repair, to return to peace. These are the choices that define your health after 60. Not extreme diets, not expensive supplements, but small daily decisions made with awareness and care. A warm cup of turmeric milk, a handful of blueberries, and the belief that your body still listens if you speak to it gently. If you found something helpful here, if this reminded you of someone you love, or gave you a small piece of peace for your own life, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment. Tell me, where are you watching from? What do you do before bed to care for your heart and mind? This channel, Elderly Reflections, is built on inspiration, motivation, and real elderly reflections. Stories that remind us that life after 60 is still rich with meaning. If you haven't yet, please like this video, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss an episode. Because in the final section, we'll go deeper. I'll share how to avoid the most common bedtime mistakes seniors make, and reveal 2 final rituals that help you wake up clearer, stronger, and more alive. Your heart deserves that. There's a kind of sacredness to nighttime that we don't talk about enough. Not just because the world gets quieter, but because something deeper happens when we close the day. For seniors, these hours carry weight. Emotionally, biologically, even spiritually. You've lived through enough long days to know that how you end one shapes how you start the next. But here's the problem. Too many people over 65 are ending their days in ways that harm the heart more than help it. A bag of salty chips, one too many drinks, TV blaring until midnight, and worst of all, the belief that it's too late to change. Let me be clear, it's not. It never is. I want to introduce you to George, 82 years old, retired dentist from Vermont. George was always sharp, always quick with a joke, always full of quotes. But after his wife passed, his nights got quieter, then emptier. He stopped cooking real meals, started snacking on processed foods, cold cereal, leftover toast. Told himself, it didn't matter at my age, who cares, he'd say. But the body always cared. Within a year, his blood pressure rose, his hands trembled more, and the man who used to recite poetry started forgetting his own phone number. His daughter and nurse stepped in, and together they created something simple. No medications, no strict diets, just one powerful habit. Every evening at 8:30, George would prepare what he called his night tray. A handful of walnuts, half a cup of Greek yogurt with blueberries, a glass of warm turmeric milk. No TV, no noise, just soft light, a journal, and sometimes a call from family. Within 3 months, George wasn't just sleeping better. He was remembering more, laughing more, living more. He told me, it feels like my mind's been polished. That's the magic of ritual. Not flashy, not complicated, just steady, human care. So how do you bring that into your own life? Start with timing. Your heart doesn't like to work hard right before bed. It needs at least 90 minutes between your last meal and sleep to regulate blood flow, clear digestion, and shift your body into a repair mode. That means eating around 7 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. Not at midnight, not in front of the fridge. Give your system time to breathe. Then portion. This is where many seniors go wrong. They think, it's healthy so I can eat as much as I want. But at night, your body isn't building muscle or running marathons. It's restoring. That means small servings are best. Enough to nourish, not overwhelm. A few walnuts, 1 kiwi, a small salad, a cup of turmeric milk. That's plenty. Now let's talk about what to avoid, because some habits feel comforting but quietly damage your heart. The first, processed carbs. Toast, cookies, crackers. These spike blood sugar, raise nighttime cortisol, and disturb your circadian rhythm. You might fall asleep fast, but you'll wake up restless, foggy, or with chest pressure. Second, alcohol. Many seniors use a glass of wine to unwind, but after 60, alcohol affects the brain differently. It disrupts REM sleep, increases nighttime heart rate, and weakens memory long-term. Lastly, too much fluid. Seniors often forget that drinking too much before bed leads to bathroom trips, and those middle-of-the-night walks can raise the risk of falls, dizziness, or even cardiac strain. Hydrate in the afternoon, sip slowly in the evening. But most importantly, build a ritual, not just a routine, a ritual, something sacred, something that tells your body, you're safe now. It's time to rest. Maybe it's lighting a candle, maybe it's soft music, or sitting by a window. Maybe it's holding a warm mug in both hands, whispering gratitude for the day that just passed. These are the moments that anchor us, that carry elderly reflections from one day to the next. And I want you to know it's not too late. It doesn't matter if you're 65 or 95. You can still change how you sleep, how you heal, how you feel. There's a woman in Minnesota I'll never forget. She was 86, watched one of our videos last spring, and decided to try just one thing: a cup of turmeric milk each night. She emailed last month and said, "I remember my dreams again. I wake up without panic. I feel peaceful." That's not a miracle. That's nourishment. That's intention. Because at the end of it, it's about how you live, how you rest, and how much love you give your body when no one's watching. A strong evening routine helps you stay independent, avoid unnecessary medication, and wake up clear and steady. The way life after 60 should feel. So tonight, ask yourself, what did I give my heart today? Did I help it rest, or did I make it fight a little harder? If you're not sure where to start, 1 blueberry, 1 walnut, 1 cup of tea. That's all it takes. The rest will come. And now I'd love to hear your voice. Truly, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Are you in North America, the UK, maybe Australia or the Netherlands? What's your evening ritual like? This community is built on real stories, elderly reflections, senior wisdom, and I want yours to be part of it. If this video brought you comfort, gave you insight, or reminded you that your later years are still deeply meaningful, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss a moment of motivation, inspiration, or health guidance crafted just for you. Because here at Elderly Reflections, we believe something simple but powerful: that life doesn't shrink with age, it sharpens, and the more you slow down and care for your heart at night, the stronger you rise in the morning. To peaceful sleep, to stronger hearts, and to a new chapter, one choice at a time.